Hi everybody, it's Danielle with Inspire Me to DIY, and I have missed you guys so much. We were in North Carolina last week, so I didn't get to do my live, but I did put a bunch of videos out there so you could see those beautiful mountains. I've never seen the mountains before, and I think I said, oh wow, like 500 times. It was like the only words that was coming out of my mouth. And when you see it on the videos, it's like, oh wow, oh wow. I love it when you see something new for the first time, and being my age and never seeing the mountains, well, that's just sad because those are so beautiful. Those are the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I guess the mountains over on the east or the west coast, I guess it's that way for you guys, on the west coast are more rocky and not as much vegetation as all the ones on the Blue Ridge Mountains, but they were phenomenal. Today, National Big Hair Day. What do you think? I've been doing so much around the house that I looked in the camera lens and went, oh, geez, big hair. So I put on some big earrings and a big necklace to hopefully minimize all this hair today. We are going to paint a sign. We haven't done a sign in a while, so I figured it was time. I got this wood sign, and I already painted it white. The whole thing was natural, but you can see it has like a little lip on it. I got this, it was $15 at Hobby Lobby, but it was 50% off. So for $7.50, I got this. It's really nicely made. It's got the two hangers if you want to hang it this way, and two hangers if you want to hang it that way. So a higher quality piece than some of the ones that you can get, so I can see why it costs a little more. I painted the inside white with my apple barrel white because I wanted it to dry pretty good before we went on. And if you can see, I didn't do a really heavy coat, so it's almost a little bit heavier than a whitewash. But this is how we're gonna start. I love the verse in Matthew where it says, you are the salt and light of the world. And so I did something a little nautical, not naughty, nautical, and did Stay Salty. I think I have a t-shirt that says the same thing on it that I had bought from a company that I absolutely love. But we're gonna try the poor man's carbon paper today like we have done in the past, and I'm hoping that it works on this white surface. If you use acrylic paint for the acrylic craft paint, I'm dropping things, for wood like this, it's much better if you're gonna try to transfer something than if you use house paint. I have all this leftover white house paint that I was going to do crafts with, and it's great. It covers things great, but you can't transfer over it unless you use a carbon paper. And this carbon paper, trust me, I have had this well over 30 years. Who knew it would last this long? And I've only used a couple sheets out of it because you can reuse it over and over and over, which I definitely do. So we're going to try this today, and I'm not going to center it perfectly because I want to put this little guy on here. You know what? I got to stop wearing such wild colored shirts so you can see things. There it is. I have a red, a white, and a blue one of these. So I chose the red one because I was going to take a white one and paint it red. I already got a red one, so why paint it red? I bought these, I think at Hobby Lobby, but that was like 100 years ago. There is a difference between nautical and coastal. I love both, but nautical is more things you would find on a ship, like a ship's wheel or a porthole window or anchors, rope, anything you'd find on a ship. Where coastal is mostly anything you'd find on the beach or on the land. Your seashells, your, geez, well, I can't even come up with beachy things. The beach umbrella, the Adirondack chair, all that stuff that you think of with coastal, beach balls, all that. But they each have their own color scheme also. And it's from the red and the blue family. Each one of them has. Now with nautical, it's more navy blue, and bright reds and whites. With coastal, you get the turquoises and corals, there's your blue and your red, and more beachy things where you can glue seashells and stuff. Now you can mix the two, it's not a problem, but they are two distinct things. And my house is more nautical than it is coastal. although I love the coastal turquoise colors, and I do have a lot of that in my house. But I strive more for the navy blues and the oranges. Pops of orange in my pillows, stuff like that. Let's get started. You are going to need whatever words you want to put. I got this. I just printed them out, downloaded them from Word, printed them out. I have this little compass rose in there, and these are what I'm going to use. So you do need a printer and a computer to do your fonts. Well, although I sometimes do my fonts on my phone because I have Word and Excel and all that on my phone too. And you need whatever color paints you want. If you're going to do with the little embellishments, do seashells or anything nautical. Do rope. Rope is really good on both nautical and coastal. And your paint brushes and your hot glue gun. Definitely going to need your hot glue gun if you're going to do an embellishment on the side. Okay, so I've already painted this white. I'm going to scoot this down a little bit. And I am going to, it's not going to be centered because I want to do my anchor on the side. So I'm going to do it just slightly off. You're going to need tape. And I'm going to tape this down pretty good because I definitely don't want it to move. Okay. Make sure my Y's are good. I tell you, this crazy hair, I had it in a ponytail and it just, it looked like I just needed a hat. So I thought, well, I'll put it in a headband and we'll see how that goes. Did I not bring glasses out? I did not bring my glasses out. Oh, this is going to be fun. Here we go. Hey, hon, can you get me a pair of readers? I think they're sitting right there. Thank you. I tried to do this without, and I'm blind as a bat. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. I usually have a pair of readers in every single room of the house, and for some reason, I went to get them like 3 times and did not get them. So I'm going to trace around my words. Make sure you use a font that's not real tricky, all the loopy things or the real thin areas, because if you're going to paint that, those real thin lines are a beast. So you don't want to do that. So I am going to push pretty firmly around my letter. I'm going to pull it up to see. Oh, yep, it's transferring pretty good. Okay, go around. I have had, if I'm talking funny, I'm really sorry. I have had some extensive dental stuff done, and it's not done yet. So I'm going to have oral surgery in a couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll still be able to go live and I won't be all like swollen, because that's not fun. Boy, I don't know how I would have done this without those glasses. Goodness. I try to have everything ready when I, hit the play button or the go live button, but kind of missed out on that one. I don't know if you guys can see okay, but I'm holding it a little bit away. All right. Wow, I'm quiet. I'm not normally quiet. I usually always have a ton of things to say. And I do, but it's just going through my head like crazy. We went to the Biltmore mansion. And oh my goodness, my husband and I have traveled and seen castles before. And castles are tremendous. I mean, they're just huge. This house was way bigger than any of the castles we've been through. The normal castles that we have gone through was like 57,000 square feet, which is amazing. The Biltmore was 164,000 square feet. It was incredible, and I would go back again in a heartbeat. I love all of, you know me. I love anything home decorating. Well, obviously the Biltmore was not my decorating taste because it was so ornate and beautiful, but it was so ornate and beautiful. It's gorgeous. We took our time through the house, and it still took us like 3 hours. But it was, if you love anything home decor, or if you're in construction and love to see how things are made, that is the house. Okay. I have no idea where I'm going to hang this yet. I've had it for a little while, and I keep looking at it, but this might be one of those projects. If it turns out great, this might be one of those projects I give to a friend. These also make really terrific Christmas presents. If you haven't started, if you're a maker like me, and you have not started making your Christmas presents yet, you're late. It's a lot. And I like to homemade all my gifts. So it is a lot to have everything done because you want really nice gifts. You don't want something that they look at and then don't use or don't display. And if you know the person you're giving the gift to, it makes it so much better because then you know exactly what to make. Now, if you're a maker and it's all food, well, yeah, you can't make that now. But any of the craft stuff, there's a number of things I want to make, and I can't say it on camera because these people will know what their Christmas present will be. So I can't tell you, but I definitely am going to show you all the things come Christmas. Okay. I don't know if you've seen the amazing sale that Walmart had on their Christmas trees. It was a week ago, and they have these Christmas trees that are just amazing for $30. If you just have the one main tree and that's your, I don't know if I'd get this tree, but if you're one of those that likes to decorate throughout the whole house, these $30 trees are amazing. And that's the normal price. But a week ago, they went on sale for $15. And these are 6-foot Christmas trees. They're not the little trees. They sold out so fast, I wasn't able to get any. I saw it on online somewhere, hit right into it, went to it, already sold out. Yeah, too late to the party. But when they have them back in the store or online and they're back for $30, I do tend on getting 1 or 2 more. The Christmas tree in my guest room is a little tabletop tree, and I'd like a big tree in there. And then the one that we have outside is falling apart. So, and it's a number of years old, and it was a real cheap tree to begin with, but it is falling apart. Now, also, if you like your tree with homemade decorations, you should get started on that already. I know I'm pushing Christmas hot and heavy, but it's like crunch time if you're a maker. You really want to get things done. For the most part, I knit homemade slippers, and all my kids get them. The boys, not so much. They're not a big fan, but the girls in my family, they love those slippers. So I can do a pair of slippers probably in a day if I sat down long enough. But who has that time to just sit down long enough? So in the evening, when we have our just like end of the day anti-stress time, is when I sit there and knit my slippers. And I do have a couple pairs done. And it's great if you have yarn leftovers, because my kids don't care what color they are. They don't mind the whole multicolored thing. And it's a good way to use up some of your extra yarn. Almost there. glad I'm not making like a really long word. I think what I'm going to do is, I originally was going to do the turquoise letters and then do coral around the edge, but I'm really thinking just doing the white and the navy blue, and I might leave the edge just natural. I think it'll look really good. I'm trying to rush it, and I should not, because I don't want to mess it up. And the tape also acts well as a hinge. So if I didn't get something all the way, I can put it back down, and that tape has kept it in the right spot. So up in the mountains, we went to Mount Mitchell, which is the highest peak in the North Carolina region that we were in, and it was 6,600 feet above sea level. Nice, but my ears were popping. Not bad to breathe or anything, nothing like that. But it was 64 degrees. Glorious. 64 degrees and 50% humidity. And people were up there in sweatshirts and long pants. It kind of made me laugh, because 64 degrees, it still doesn't require a sweatshirt in my life. All right, doing that last letter. Let's keep your fingers crossed that it transferred over well. Okay, let's see what I got. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it? Yeah, you can kind of see it. But I'm going to outline it in a black marker. I always outline it because when you go to paint it in, the black line just makes it crisp around the edges. So I brought out all my markers, my Sharpies, but I know some of them are dried up. Hey! So I'm just going to put my big ones back in, and the ones with color. This one's brown. Okay. Oh, another big one. So I'm going to use these smaller ones, just the little skinnies. See if that works. I know I've got at least one marker that still works. And even if you were going to paint this a light color, like turquoise, doing the dark lines around the edge are perfect. I think it just makes it pop more. All right, and now fill in the lines where your hand is comfortable. I was going around the curve of my S, and it was no longer comfortable here because I needed to reposition. If you're in a spot where it's not comfortable, you're going to mess up. So you don't want to do that. So just always make sure your hand is comfortable. And going around curves is the worst. Okay, this one's already starting to dry up. We'll see. Yeah. And it might be because this white paint is getting on the tip of it. Now I'm using just a piece of craft paper. This is the paper that you get at Hobby Lobby when you buy something in glass and they wrap it up. I always take that paper, smooth it out, and that's my work surface. Because we don't subscribe to a newspaper, and the one that comes free came in the rain the other day, and it was totally drenched by the time I got it. Even though it was in one of those little plastic bags, it didn't help. So I had no newspaper this week, which is okay because I have plenty of this paper, and it is definitely reusable. Even if you get paint on it, let it dry. This day and age, you kind of have to keep everything you can, because to buy new, it's expensive. It's just, everything is just so expensive right now. It's sad. All right. Oh, this is looking so good. I go. Keep repositioning. Ah, see, my hand was a little off. And I was going too fast. So the bottom of that A right there, I messed up a little. Stuff like that drives me insane. Most people, they're like, it's not that big. But it drives me crazy. I don't remember the name of the font that I chose for this. I wish I did. Because I printed this out last summer, I think. I was always going to make it, and then I never did. And I really wanted to make it this year before summer turned into fall, which is coming. Doesn't mean a lot here because it's still really warm. Our fall hits somewhere end of December, beginning of January, because we do have some trees that the leaves change, not many, but we have a certain oak tree and maple here that will turn once the weather cools down, which is end of December, around May. You can still go to the beach at Christmas. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? It is. This compass rose is a little tricky, and I probably should have used a ruler to make my straight lines. But I was able to copy it well enough from the paper. And it's also hard to make straight lines when you're going with wood grain, because wood grain is bumpy. I do have one room in my house that is coastal, not nautical. And actually, it's not all that coastal. It's more, what do you call it when it's like woodsy and not log cabin like, but more in that realm with the flannels and all the cozy stuff in the winter. More like an LL Bean commercial. So that's definitely not a coastal thing. Okay, one more point on my compass rose. You know, even if it's not perfect, I think it looks, it's definitely not perfect. Look at the two side pieces. One's long and one's short. Eh. It's cool. All right. If I keep messing up, though, I'm going to have to keep it and not give it to a friend, because I don't want to give a friend stuff I've screwed up on. Unless they want to paint over it and make something else, which you totally can. Ugh, S's. Get that paint off. So we start back to school on the 10th. I don't know if your kids and grandkids are starting that soon. A couple of schools in Florida started on the 1st already, but I'm sure they get off pretty early compared to the rest of the schools. But we start the 10th and then go till Memorial Day. So I was going to do a back to school craft, but I really wanted to get this sign done before fall. So glad not to have to buy all those school supplies again. Oh my goodness. And you had to have, I had a girl, actually I have two girls, but you know, school supplies had to be just this and whatever was in fashion, and had to have this, that, and the other thing. And my son is like, I don't care. So he was, I was able to buy his stuff a little cheaper. Get the paint off of that. Oops, I think I'm running out of ink. Either that or it's that. Oh, it does great on the paper, so it's got to be, yeah, got to be the paint surface. Now you can skip this step if you want to, if you're really good with your paintbrush, but I'm okay with the paintbrush, not so great. Hey, Carrie, how's it going? Ooh, you're gonna tell me something. I can't wait. I can't wait. Sounds awesome. Okay. 2 more letters. What do you think so far? Is this not great? See how it makes those letters pop a lot more? I don't know, it's backwards. I wish it wasn't. I wish I could flip that camera. With all the technology we have, you'd think that Facebook would be able to flip the camera. But I can't even get filters anymore. And I loved filters. It gave me clear skin and bright eyes. And it's like, ooh, it took like 20 years off. It was awesome. But I can't even get my filters right now. Oh well. One more. And I'm turning this all over so my hand is comfortable. And go around this way. We have a number of fall festivals in Florida around my area, so they're starting to rev up, and I love going to them. I just love the festival food and walking around all the tents and looking at what everybody makes. And I love just standing there talking to people. It's awesome to hear about how they got started making their art. There we go. Stay salty, y'all. Perfect. All right, let's get to painting. And I picked out, I don't have a lot left, so I'm hoping I have enough for this. 2 blue, T-O-O, blue. So let's, oh, you know what? It sounds a little watery. I might not want to use this. If you use a paint that's that's watery, you put it on my, yeah, it will bleed, and I don't want that. Let me get another blue. It's the only one I had that was closest to navy. Ugh. Here's my blues. They're all Apple Barrel. I love buying Apple Barrel paints because they're 50 cents a bottle. Yeah, better than the $2 and something that a lot of them are. Okay, this one is bright blue. I don't think I want a bright blue. Look at this one. Oh, Tuscan teal. Let me see what that looks like. Because teal is kind of, you know, the difference between navy blue and turquoise. And maybe I could be like middle of the road. There's my, oh. I like this. Let's do this. And this one is Tuscan teal. I like to buy the matte paints instead of the gloss paints. I think they just look better. If you have something that's shiny and glossy, a lot of times especially if you make a mistake, it'll just stick out like a sore thumb. All right, so I get my paints mostly from Walmart because they have them for 50 cents. Now, if you go, I don't think Hobby Lobby has Apple Barrel, but I think Joann Fabrics does, and it's like 75 cents. So if you buy a lot of them, that extra quarter, forget it. Forget about it. Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. All right. Now I'm going to start painting left to right, because if you paint over here and stick your hand in it while you're painting over here, nope, not a good thing. And I have a number of brushes. I have this flat that I'm thinking it might still be too big, but it might be better to go around. I don't think, oh, I brought out, these are my round brushes and my flat brushes. There's all different kinds of each, plus there's different other than round and flat. There's filbert and fan, and they have a whole bunch of different ones. So this is a number, where are you? Number 2. Number 2 round and a number 4 flat. And I'm going to try both of them for this, just to see what this looks like. I'm going to try the round one first. Get a little paint on there, and I'm going to move this up and this up. Can you see better if I do it like this? And I'm just going to try to go around. I have to get more paint on my brush because it's got some bristles that are flaring out, kind of like my hair. So if I dab them in paint, maybe they'll lay down a little better. You know what? I really like this round brush. I think the flat brush would be better if I had letters that weren't as curvy. And I picked a curvy font, like the end of the Y and the T's and all that have a curve to them. And it's hard to paint curves with a flat brush. But with a round brush, you can just go, it kind of forms more for around curves. Oh my goodness. Can you tell I'm not a paint instructor? I'm going to listen to that later and go, what? What are you talking about? Okay. My mom would say you have to hold your mouth just right. Okay. Let's see. What do you think? Not bad. Now, it's a little wonky, but from a distance, just tell people to stay far away from your sign. Okay. Don't know if you can hear my stomach growling. It's growling quite loud. But last week, I started back on my Weight Watcher program because now I'm in a size awesome. And I don't want to be in a size awesome anymore. Weight Watchers has always been really good to me. So I love the fact that it's a diet that you can do the rest of your life because it's just eating healthy. You can have any single thing you want, but you got to stay within your points to make it work. And someone my age and size is 23 points. And they make it so easy to figure out what point is what because I have the Weight Watcher app and you can scan anything in the grocery store. It'll tell you the points on it. So I'm back on that. This is day 6. Haven't cheated yet. I mean, I've had a half of one of those amazing chocolate chip cookies. I had a half of one because that half was 8 points. And I had 8 points left over at the end of the day. So you can have anything you want. Stay within your points. And I like to save my points mostly for the end of the day because that's when I have the biggest problem. During the day when I'm working or I'm really busy, I don't think about food so much. But boy, in the evening, just, sitting there talking with my husband or doing one of my crafts, I get hungry. Okay. Now my husband is allowed more points because he's a much bigger person and he's male, so they always get more points. Not fair. So hopefully I'll be back in my regular clothes again in a few weeks. We'll see. I will keep you posted. As if you're interested. Wow, this is going pretty fast. 30 minutes, and I've got this much done already. And what's nice about matte paint instead of gloss is it dries way quicker. So you want to, if you don't want to wait to do the next step in whatever you're doing in a craft, use a matte paint. I think that gloss, whatever the fixative they have in the paint that makes it glossy, I think that's the thing that takes forever to dry. Boy, I'm so glad that other blue was not going to work because this is great. This is more my colors. If you've ever seen the giant picture on my wall of my whale, it's all these teals and darker turquoises. There's navy in there. And I kind of ran the colors of my living room off of that large piece of art. Now, if you want to know about anything about that large art, I mean, it is a good, maybe 4 foot by 5.5 foot. I mean, it's huge, but I have really large walls and high ceilings. And so I was trying to find something that was a focal point that wasn't going to cost an arm and a leg. You got to read about it in my blog because it's like one of the most amazing thing I've ever done. And it was super simple, and the whole cost for everything was under $50. And you know, large art, how much that can cost. And the thing is you don't have to have your art look like mine. Okay, I'll let this part of the secret go. It's a shower curtain. I framed a shower curtain, and that whale is just perfect on my wall. So if you want to do something similar, Google shower curtains or look them up on Amazon where I got mine. And there's a link on my blog that will take you right to where I bought that. I put that in there just to kind of help people find things. So that is in there. Should I make that compass rose the same color, I wonder? Yeah, you know why? Because it's not in the center. If it was dead in the center, I'd make it like a coral-ish, orangish color. But I think I'm going to make it all the same because I don't want it to show that it's off-center. And the reason it's off-center is because I want to glue that big anchor over here. So you don't want it dead center because then part of it's underneath the anchor. You got to look at that compass rose to see what parts they colored in. Okay. This would be a great craft. Actually, it's more of an art project than a craft, but this would be great to do with a group of girlfriends. Have everybody bring their base, which is this, I chose this sign. Everybody could bring a base and their fonts, and if they didn't have a computer, could print them off at my house, and then we could all do our boards how we wanted. I think that would be amazing. I would like to get a group of people together to make the big outdoor sign, the long rectangle that for the holidays. Happy Christmas, or believe, or, you know, whatever you want to put on your sign. Mine, I have one that says it's a song lyric, so I was just trying to sing it in my head. The weary world rejoices. It's from Joy to the World. But our world is pretty weary right now. It's tired. We've been through a lot, and it just, hopefully it'll stop soon. All the chaos. There's just too many people out there that are tired. Tired of all the drama. So the weary world rejoices just seemed to be a perfect thing. And it's funny because when was that written? A gajillion years ago, but it's so pertinent for today's world. Okay. Oh, I like this. Hold on. Let me get up here and I'll show y'all. All y'all. Oh my gosh. Look at that compass rose. It's so off kilter. But I love how it turned out. And see, if you didn't use a marker with that, you'd have to paint those other not shaded areas white. But on a white background, it wouldn't show so much. All right, let's get salty. Now, I had a friend of mine that says, salty, you're not supposed to be salty. Salty's not being a Christian. Salty is being angry or being snippy or nasty to people. And I explained to him that in the Bible, they talk about people being salt and light. And because as Christians, you want to, salt has flavor and light is peace and comfort. That's how I see light. Opposite of darkness, which is, I feel darkness is depression and anxiety. So salt and light, we're to be flavor and a bright light to people in the world to show Jesus to others. So I was telling him that that's what they mean by this salty, and that it kind of has two different meanings. But I thought that was funny because I never thought of it that way before. It's like, oh yeah, being salty can be grumpy. All right, going around the corner. Should I sing She'll Be Going Around the Mountain? And I poured out a lot of paint on my plate, and I makes me sad. A lot of times I'll just open the bottle and use the paint that way because I use a lot less paint, but you also have to be careful if you're using more than one color, because with a lot of acrylics that I do, I'll keep the green on my brush, put a little white in there, mix it up so I got a little bit lighter green. But you can't do that inside the bottle because then you make each bottle a different color than how it started. And I definitely don't want to do that. It's like Play-Doh. You know, when you used to mix Play-Doh as a kid and then you're like, you can't unmix it? It's the same with paint. All right. I have an idea in my head that I want to do with this, so we'll see if it works out. But I kind of want to take the rope that's around my anchor, keep it on my anchor, but then make it go around the picture and then hang on back to the anchor. Right now it's just an idea in my head, so we'll see if we can make that work. You're never supposed to try new things on live camera, but hey, here we go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I have been going down the Pinterest rabbit hole lately, which, because of the season, I want to know new ways to make Christmas stuff. And I bought a bunch of cardboard cones. I saw all these different ways to make tabletop Christmas trees. So we're going to make some of those on the live, but we got to get a little closer to Christmas. I do not decorate my home for Halloween. I just never have. It's really not my thing. So, but I do a lot for fall. And it kind of blends in. It's just all fall stuff without the scary. I mean, we pass out candy and everything, but I don't decorate my home that way. This year, I want a whole new color scheme for my fall. I normally do the oranges and yellows and bright reds, and I'm kind of over it. So this year, I want to do more of the off-white creams, and then a little bit darker wheat colors and sage green. I just have it in my mind. And if you have subscribed to my blog, you got the newsletter last week of kind of what I'm talking about with the different colors. And there's a little darker pumpkin color thrown in, but not the bright oranges or anything like that. So we'll see, but I'm not going to buy a lot of things to change my color scheme. I'm going to take what I have and paint it to that color scheme. So all my garland with the leaves on it, I'm going to paint each of those leaves just to see if I can do it, to see if it'll work. And then that way I'll be able to redo my entire home fall colors on a budget, which is, I am all about a budget, getting things cheap. That's why, like, this sign here was $15, but I waited for the half off price because I knew I was going to use it, but I didn't want to pay the full price. Okay, one more letter. And yeah, the word stay is already dry. My compass rose is dry. So that's how fast this stuff dries. It's wonderful. I have a little fan set up here just in case, but I don't think I'm going to need it. Oh, I'd never be able to do this without my readers. Yikes. Okay. One more letter. I don't know about you guys, but it has been so hot here. Just so hot. Yesterday it was 97. And it just, every time you go outside, it was like, ugh. But I am lucky enough to have a pool in my backyard, so I definitely get in that. I do a lot of my stretches and exercises in it also. All right, I have a glass of water here, so I'm just going to make sure I clean off my brush quickly. You don't want paint to dry in your brush because this paint dries so quickly. All right, nope, still got blue in there. You're only as good as your tools. I don't know if you've heard that, but I've heard that a ton of times in my life. I'm making the point good again. And so I want to make sure that I keep my tools nice. Stay salty. Woo, I love it. Okay, so let's think about this anchor. I have it through the hole, but I have a little tail here that I definitely will use. But I got this long piece of rope. I don't remember where I got it. It was attached to something that I bought. So I kept it. But I think I'm going to glue my anchor right there. And then make this rope here go all the way around the edge. And I don't know if I should put it on the top or up underneath. Maybe up underneath. We'll see. And then it'll go all the way around and then back up to the rope. That's why you need your glue gun. So, stop. Should have brought a ponytail holder. All right, I'm going to get my paints out of the way so I don't get in the middle of them. Coffee break. Okay. So, yep, she's good to go. You should see all the cords. I have so many cords just where things are plugged in. Okay, so I'm going around the edge with this. And then I'm going to put it, make sure I don't get my rope in there. I'm going to put this right on it. Now that's going to take a little bit to dry. I'm going to put some, put some under here. And if it oozes out, that's okay, because once it dries, you can take a little knife or a razor blade and just cut that piece off. Ooh, that looks so good. Oh, I love that. Now see, doesn't that look, it looks a little more upscale than when, I don't know, more upscale than like just drawing on a sign. I like how using different fonts can just make that look so much better. All right, so I'm going to take this one and I think go around the edges, maybe up here on the top. No, I like it up underneath. And let me reach my finger covers. If you buy nothing at all from Dollar Tree, if you only bought one thing, buy these. They are finger savers for hot glue. Let me tell you, I burn myself 100% of the time when I'm not wearing these. And they're pink. Who doesn't like that? Okay. Put my little stand down. And this is a hot, or high and low, I should say, glue gun. So you can do projects if you want the glue gun at a lower temperature. I like it mostly at higher temperatures when I'm doing work like this. It makes the wax. It makes the glue more liquid instead of more waxy. Okay, pushing that in there. Oh, I love this finger thing. Pushing that in there. game changer. That Y is still a little wet of paint, and I got some on my finger, but at least I didn't smear my sign. And another thing, if you use the high setting instead of the low setting, you can go around corners better. It moves where you want to better. And you have a lot less of those glue strings because it's a thinner thing. I'm going to put a finger thing. 3 of them come in the package for $1.25. Let's do this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go right up to underneath that anchor. Okay. Push, push, push. And I want to go underneath my anchor here. And up on the side, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this corner because of this anchor is in the way. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Get some glue in there. Okay. Yeah, I just squeezed a whole bunch in there. If a little does great, a lot will be better, right? All right. You know, it's kind of hard to show this on camera until I'm done. So for right now, you can just see me fight. Okay, so we do have some glue strings. Not as many as we'd have if it was a thicker glue. But we have this. See how it's up underneath? I like it. It gives it a little bit more. And then I'm just going to take this tail, tie it onto this one, but probably have the knot in the back. We'll see. If I tie this here, what I want, no, I really do want it to be in the back. So I'm going to take the rope on the top, put it through to the back. I love it. And then scissors. Hard to get my scissors on with my finger things. Okay, and then I am just going to tie them together. Do I want it tight? No. I want it loose. So I'll make this tail a little looser. Just tie it, a knot in the end. Come on. Come on. It's really hard with these finger things on. It must be what it feels like to have no feeling in your fingers. What did I do? Nope, that's got to go through. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so I just tied a knot in the end. And I think I'm just going to drape it down like this. And, oh, see? I love that. And this is what you got. You might want to even just tack it with a little glue right there. So, stay salty. Matthew 5:13. Go ahead and look that up on Bible Gateway. I love that. It's one of my favorite apps on my phone. But we're done. What do you think? And it only took an hour. You can do anything fun for an hour. It would be this. I love how this turned out. I might give it away to one of my friends. We'll see. Or I might find a really great place for it. I would buy this if I saw it in the store. I really would. I mean, it looks more upscale, like I was saying, like you'd find it in a store rather than, oh, that looks homemade. Yeah, you don't want that look. So if you enjoy seeing my videos and my craziness and you want to see more of my craziness, just hit the little follow button at the top and you'll see my reels and my videos will come across. And then I post a lot of things about my home decor and just things going on in my life. Absolutely loving this journey. So I will see you Next week, remember, this is Danielle from Inspire Me to, the number 2, inspiremetodiy.com. Have a great weekend and just have so much fun. Talk to you later. Bye.